Welcome to Let's Play Blood Bowl Chaos Edition. I'm lostsemplex. Today, we'll be starting our campaign through the tournaments brought to you in Blood Bowl. A parody of American football, I guess is the best way to put it, brought to us by Games Workshop and put into digital format by Cyanide Studios, who does a great job, by the way, of turning the tabletop game into a digital experience. Very good job. I wish they'd do it with the other Games Workshop games, such as Warhammer and Warhammer 40k, both of which I've spent a lot of money buying the random miniatures and the paints and all that, making them nice and pretty for tabletop gaming. Let's begin the campaign. We're going to choose Classic because I absolutely adore the classic rules that are brought to us by Games Workshop themselves. Blitz adds in some new features that are not exactly official. Not that it's necessarily bad, however it also adds real-time matches, which I can't even imagine how the real-time matches work. I have absolutely refused to experiment. Eventually I probably will check it out, but it just doesn't seem like that worked too well. Our campaign name is going to be Destruction Fielding. Oh no! Typos. Lovely. Destruction Fielding. Alright, we're gonna go with difficulty level medium. I am not familiar with hard, but perhaps on a later campaign, if this one turns out to be something that people want to see more of, we'll choose another race, and we will choose a higher difficulty level. We'll just have to see. For now, we will stick with medium. Okay, we've got several races. 23, I think, is how many. Feel free to take a look-see at how many. We will not be going through every one of them. However, as we come up against them in tournament mode, I will discuss their strengths, their weaknesses, and that kind of stuff as we are actually fighting them. We are going to be Khorne demons. Now, it did take some time for me to decide on which race would be best. It was really close between a few. Orcs being the other one, but orcs are just they're very good to learn the game. They really are, and they are a great race for a new coach to do, but they do tend to be, with that, be a little kind of jack of all trades, master of none kind of deal, although they're a little better than human in that regard. The human are also a similar, very good for new players to pick up. They're a little bit better than that because they're good at stompy stuff. They can smash a team pretty good. We're going to choose the Khorne demons because they are exceptionally good at stomping the other team. However, they've got their weaknesses, as we'll go into soon. Let's type our team name here. Everybody needs a good mascot, right? So we are going to be Hell's Badgers. Oh, look at me. I am a very bad typer. There we go. We will choose a nice, let's choose a light gray. And, that logo looks nice enough to me. Here is the team history brought to us by the developers of the game, which I guess I'll read for you. Khorne demons are known for their infinite bloodlust and rage. Some of these demons, not satisfied with destroying civilizations, wanted to play violent games. When bloodletters, pit fighters, cultists, bloodthirsters, and heralds discovered Blood Bowl, a new race entered the pitch. The Khorne demons. Today they are admired and simply are the most feared and violent players of all time. The Khorne demons were brought to us in the Chaos Edition upgrade, one of 3 that were added to the already fairly large list of races. So if you are familiar with this game and have not seen them in your game, that may be why. Okay, here we are at our competitions map. You actually won't see this map as much as you might think in campaign. You'll see it every time you finish up a cup, which takes a little bit of time because it works at, in tournament fashion. There's, day 1 matches, then, the finals and all that stuff. You earn prestige and some more money, which money we're about to use some money right now, so you'll see very shortly how that works. Forgot to start a timer. Let me do that so that this video doesn't run incredibly long. Okay, so we're going to start off with the cleanup cup. We're going to take part in competition. We currently have no players, yet we're going to buy some players. We are going to buy some players. So let's do that. Let's take a look real quick at these stats so that, those of you who are not real familiar with the game can get an idea. This is your movement allowance. So got a pop-up for it. 6 is how many they can move within their turn. They can move 6 squares. They can actually technically move 8 squares because you have 2 that you can take a risk on. You can make your dice roll. And if on the score of a anything more than a 1, you succeed. However, if you roll that 1, you fall to the ground and you suffer possibly a armor breaking, which that will make you roll on a damage chart. And you can have anything, you can have stuff happen to you all the way up to death. Also, anytime that you mess up on your turn, that counts as a turnover, and everything that the turn ends. Doesn't matter if you wanted it to or not. You are going to see that, and you're going to see me frustrated about it. No doubt about it. It's gonna happen, but we'll weather through it. So then we have strength. Strength is how well this person will match up against other people. A higher strength than the person that you are trying to block means more dice on that roll, meaning a higher chance of doing something bad to that other character. Agility is used for getting around, not in the same way that movement allowance is, but if you're trying to escape from somebody's somebody's tackle zone, this is the number that they're rolling. On an agility 3, which is fairly common, it's the medium one, you have to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to successfully get out of a tackle zone. There are various modifiers that will add to that or subtract from your dice roll, but that's the general idea behind it. And this is your armor value. This is how likely you are to survive being knocked down and not become a casualty or a knockout. The higher the number, the better. The lower the number, the more danger you're in if you are hit. So we are going to do a fairly... It's not the most risky build for starting out players, but it's also not the safest. I am not going to have as many rerolls, which a reroll is you get it once a turn, and you can re-roll a dice that didn't go your way. Say I did roll a 1 when I was going for it, which is going further than my movement allowance would normally allow. If I did roll that 1, I can re-roll that dice and hopefully not roll a 1 again. Hopefully, if you're not understanding this, you'll get it as we actually get into the game. It's not as complicated as it sounds. So we are going to do... Let me look down here at what I've written down. We are going to do 6 pit fighters. So, fine. 3 bloodletter demons. And 2 Khorne heralds. Alright, so that's going to be our starting team. Now, we've also got some stuff here. We are going to buy some rerolls. We're going to buy 3 to be precise. And that leaves us with 10,000 left in our treasury, which can buy us a cheerleader, an assistant coach, or fan factor. Fan factor comes fairly easily. It's very... You gain it at the end of matches that you win, normally. So, that may be not worth it. I mean, it would be nice to have a little bit because it does influence the kickoff events, which you'll see soon. But so do cheerleaders and assistant coaches, and they affect it in a little bit more of a substantial way. Now, I know that a lot of people who are very familiar with this game might just be face-palming that I'm even bothering to care, but that's okay. Cheerleaders on the sideline are just fun to watch anyway, so we're going to add a cheerleader just so that we have the model of the cheerleader over there when we get a touchdown, just, you know, pom-pomming it up. Okay, let's see who we're going to be against. This is day 1. It looks like we are against some High Elves, the Arnhem Seahawks. Also going on and in this competition are the Vampires and the Wood Elves. So we will probably see them at a later date. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be against the Vampires, and on day 3 we'll be against the Wood Elves. Wood Elves are not going to be fun to fight. They can be very annoying. Okay, so with that said, let's get ready to start our first match with Hell's Badgers. Okay, the team was better equipped than us by 300, actually. Their team value is better than our team value. So we have to make up in that deficit. We have been given 300 gold pieces in petty cash to use on things that we might want or need. First off, we're going to use that to buy at least 1 apothecary, maybe 2. I haven't decided yet. We are going to hit up, let's do a bribe. A bribe will allow us to foul players without being sent off the field for the rest of the game with that player. And we're going to do extra team training, a little bit more in the way of a reroll. Actually, I think will be a little more valuable than an apothecary at this point. Apothecaries are used to re-roll any casualties that are taken, so like if you get a death, you can re-roll to see if you actually die or if you can recover that player. That's really valuable to me personally later in the game as your characters start to level up and really become something powerful. At this point, they're all rookies and easily replaced. So this will work. We will go ahead. We've got our list there of what we've got, and they don't have anything, so theirs is already in their team. That's extra 300. And when here we've got our little, here's cheerleaders. They have 3 to our 1, so they've got an advantage over us on certain events that happen. And rerolls, I think that's mage there. You can use wizards in this game. You probably won't see me do it. They are very expensive and not worth the extra money, in my opinion. This is your apothecary. This one is not... Anyway, it wasn't coming to mind. Right, and here's the match starting. A nice overview of the stadium. We will be skipping these cinematics later, but...
Hi, everybody. And we...
Hi there.
Hey, hi, Jim. And we,
Hi, Bob.
Hey, so this match promises to have the stands rocking.
Rocky no more, Bob. The hooligans have already strung up the band. Oh, yes. There's such a difference between the level of the two teams. You've got to be slightly worried.
Okay, those are the funny little announcers. Sometimes they can be quite amusing. That's why I left them on. I might end up turning them off if they become bothersome to me. Okay, so we're setting up now. We are going to be kicking off, so they will be receiving and running the ball down the field. So we need to set up defensively, and I like to do that with a blitz generally. That gets my unit set up for of course, with elves being, this is a little risky against elves because elves are going to run down here and throw the ball, and they like to score that way by actually playing the ball. They don't run it in. They generally throw it in. The high elves are interesting. They're kind of squishy like normal elves, but they're less squishy because they have a very expensive armor. Without further ado, let's accept. And we're going to kick off. And we do not want this ball to go anywhere near that thrower. We want to make that thrower have to come for it. So we're going to aim here. Hopefully, we'll hit somewhere in the area, though it does scatter.
A match from the terraces.
They've got a point. If they don't want to join in the fun, they might as well stay home and watch
That's
it on
actually decent. That keeps it out of their throwers' hands, and their thrower is by far the most annoying scoring thing that they have. Okay, now, what happened there was he tried to run through a tackle zone of one of these two. I'm not actually sure which one, and he failed his roll, and he got laid to the dirt. Because he got laid to the dirt on his turn ended. It was a turnover, and now it's my turn. He didn't get to complete his turn. He missed out on a lot of opportunities, but that's part of this game. You've got to do your less risky stuff first. So let's see. What do I have that I need to do first? Well, let's set up a little bit of a line here. And that'll protect him from getting through there without having to take a roll to do so. Now my guys all have frenzy. Frenzy means that they will block and then they will block again if that guy's still standing up at the end of his first block, he is going to block again. That can be a bad thing. We'll see that in action, I'm sure. So here we go. I've just made my first block on this guy. We have a defender stumble roll and a defender push. Now a defender pushed is just, he's still standing at the end of it, he's just been moved. A defender stumbles means that he has been pushed and knocked down. So we're going to choose that one. And we'll push him away from us. And you automatically follow them with frenzy. I don't have the choice to stand in my spot. Okay, this guy does not have quite the chance that I'd like him to, so I'm going to move this cultist here to help assist in that tackle. That gives me 2 dice instead of the 1 that you saw. Okay. This is not a good roll for me at this point. I do not have a skill called block, which would turn this into a good thing. This knocks us both down. This would cause me a turnover. I'm going to re-roll. I'm going to use one of my re-rolls here. Okay, that made it a little better. I can use Defender Stumbles, which will knock him down and keep me safe. So there he goes down to the ground. Okay, we are going to think about using a blitz now. Normally, you can only move or attack. You can't do both. we're gonna do both with your one blitz action.
Yes, Jim,
One
the
time
noblest of
per
them all.
turn, one
We can
character.
expect a high-quality
can
throwing
blitz.
game today.
I don't really
if
have
I fall
a
asleep,
good
do not wake me up.
person to blitz. I really don't. I think I'm gonna blitz their blitzer because he is an expensive unit. And if we can hurt him, knock him out, or even kill him, that would be great. It would really hurt their team. And we'll do Defender Stumbles again. And we'll push him forward. And this one does not have Frenzy. This unit of mine does not have Frenzy, so I can choose whether or not I'm going to follow him. In this case, I am. To be in this area to help keep these guys on the ground. Now this guy, I want him to stand back up. And he uses a lot of his movement points to stand up, but we're gonna move him right here to have them in his tackle zone. So if they try and move, they have to make a roll. With this cultist, we're going to move him up here for the same reason. If they try and move, they have to make a roll. And I'm going to have him come up to support him. I'm going to keep these guys here just in case he gets by them, which is pretty likely because he's an elf and he has fairly good agility, so his rolls are better. Now, I just ran out of time, probably because I couldn't keep my mouth shut trying to explain everything. So my turn ended due to a lack of time. That's okay, though. I pretty much was done.
Everyone remembers when Lucian, the Silver Bullet Swift, played for the Gladiators.
Let's see how this
before the NAF collapse. However, after the collapse, he went on his own and formed the Calahir Swifts in 2501.
Yeah, Jim, the Gladiators sure lost a good blitzer. But it's just a matter of time before the richest team in Blood Bowl lures in another star for their roster.
But these elves are not as lucky as they normally are. I have seen elves get through 5 different roll zones without any problem, and these elves have had 2 turnovers already. Let's go ahead and get on with this so that we can. Okay, we have got this guy standing right there, just with the ball, just asking to be blitzed. So let's see who's in the best position to blitz him. He's going to have to run through tackle zones. That's going to be... I could blitz him with him, but he's got defenders helping him with his roll, so he will get to actually pick those 2 dice that I roll, and that'll likely not go in my favor. Okay, so blitzing right this second is not going to be...
Look, Bob, they're almost too proud to get their outfits dirty.
Let's see if we can clear up some space.
Jim.
What's so difficult throwing a ball? I want to see more action.
We don't really have any good moves. Okay, let's see. This one's okay, now this is a defender down. This one's a good roll no matter what. No matter what the skills they have, any of that. You'll see that even a defender stumbles, that can be guarded against if they have the skill dodge.
Uppercut. Well done.
Okay, we've moved him to the ground. Let's move this guy over here to help this guy in his tackle. And we don't really have any, we didn't roll anything real good, but it's not worth a re-roll. So we'll just push him. Oh yeah, forgot, Frenzy, duh. Frenzy, like I said, when you don't knock him to the ground, it gives you another opportunity. That can be good, it can be bad. So it was good in this case because we rolled a defender down. So he has been successfully blocked.
Wow, I can tell you straight, that hurts.
Okay. We've opened up the floor a little bit, but I'm still nervous. Let's see. I think we've got something here, though. Okay, defender stumbles, knock him down. He'll move move up. This guy now is free to not have to take any kind of dodging. He's not real strong against him, but we're going to have to take that risk. Yes, and it paid off. So he's going to lose that ball.
It's the only way to end a downward spiral.
Nice left punch, right on the nose.
Okay,
sure was, Jim.
Good deal.
It's broken now.
Let's move him up. He'll help a little bit in guarding these two from getting a hold of that ball. Let's see if we can't hurt this guy. Wow. Guys, okay, he was knocked out. That's what that little bell, swing bell, means. He is now dissolving into the ground. You'll see him over here now in their knockout zone. So he is off the field. And this guy is open to go for the ball if he wanted to. There's a lot of danger in that, though. He does not have sure hands, which means that he can't re-roll if he messes up. And if I do mess up, it's a turnover. I think for now, I'm going to guard the ball. By being here and having the ball in my tackle zone, I make it harder to pick up. Now we're running out of time, so let me do this turn.
What finesse, what style, what perfection.
What a hammer blow.
Now, that's a little risky on my part. I'm leaving this side wide open. And I'm going to leave this guy down here for now.
Did you hear about the
just in case one of these elves gets past me, like that one, because he's a catcher. If somebody gets that ball and throws it to him and he catches, he can get into the touchdown zone in one turn. Right then. Which will be bad. Now the Khorne demons. Wow. Wow. I am getting very lucky. This is not normally how this goes at all. Let's do my turn. Let's see. This is looks to be an easy attack.
Hold still, and then pow! Right in the face.
That player's gonna wake up with a serious headache.
Okay, that didn't go so well. But that's okay. It still got him out of the way. I will follow him to keep him away from that ball as much as possible. This guy's a problem. He makes it a lot harder for me to get that ball. So he is going to be my blitz target, and I guess we'll blitz with him. He has horns, which means that he has effectively a strength of 4 when blitzing. And that gives me a defender down. He will automatically follow.
Frenzy. That's one way to look at things.
Now have an open ball. Because I blitzed, I can also move out the rest of his. And I don't know that I want to risk that.
Blood Bowl is reputedly the toughest of all sports.
So they say,
I think I'll move
but
up
it really
here
only
and help
comes
this
down
guy
to taking a few
with
hits.
his tackle. And we got another defender down.
Well, that's one with a good reason to go see the apothecary.
Yep, looks like he's gonna need a good one.
He's got a pretty good attack. We're going to go with defender down because we do not want to hit the ground ourselves and cause a turnover. Not when I can probably get a hold of this ball. Okay, I'm very fortunate. That could have been bad. Frenzy can be bad. That could have easily been attacker down or both down again, but it wasn't. That's lovely.
Do you think he'll be able to get up after that blow, Jim?
Now, as you can see, the Khorne demons are very stomping. I mean, that's what they are built for. Crushing the opponents. Crushing their opposition. Okay, let's go ahead and put him here to guard these elves. And we're going to make the attempt now to pick up this ball. And we failed. However, we can re-roll, and we are going to try, but we do require at least a 4, so that's only a 50% shot of this working out.
They can start to move forward.
We did. That's very fortunate. We are going to go ahead and move up with the ball towards the touchdown zone, the And that leaves us, he's done. As you can see, we could go further up, but I want him to be, not only do I not want to take the risk here of falling, I also don't want
so long to become a full-fledged Blood Bowl player.
Well, Jim, to
be far away. I want him to help me with anybody who might try something against me. Okay, so let's finish up this turn. Let's move him here so I can get a better roll chance on this guy. And that was a good one. So knock him down.
Oh, brilliant side kick to the face. Let's see that again in slow motion.
He's not gonna really. We can move this guy up now. Or let's guard their passer. If he doesn't move next turn, we can tackle him. I don't like their passers. They're early targets of mine. I like to put them out on the ground real fast. They're standing most of their units back up, and that's basically all they've done. He's moving him up. I am in his tackle zone. But he's an easily blitzable.
Good job his nose got in the way.
Yeah, otherwise he'd have got it full in the face.
And we're back on our turn. Okay, now I could take the risk. And I may have to, because this elf has been fairly smart.
The best Khorne Damon's team ever,
by
children,
blocking
always destroy
potential
the stadium
blitzers.
In which they lose.
No, Jim, I didn't know that. I actually think they're right. I would do the same thing.
I think it's unfair. Anyway, let's hope they won't lose this time.
We'll see.
What? You're afraid
For now, we'll start with some of the easier.
Let's say it will be a glorious death to be killed by demons of Khorne.
That's your point of view, Bob. I would prefer to see more
In this case, we're not
Blood Bowl games. Blood Bowl players are getting more like their Albion League cousins every day.
That wasn't a light touch that put him down, Jim. That was a solid chop to the back of the neck.
Stand him back up, just in case we do have a next turn. I don't think blitzing there is the best. We blitz here. That's not really affecting the ball too much. At this point, everything else is arbitrary. Getting that ball in is really my focus. And it's just, do I want to risk one here or here and possibly end up not in good shape, or do I want to risk rolling a 50% shot of getting out of his tackle zone? Let's see how, and I got to do it twice. Ugh, that's just not good. That is not good. I am not sure. He's locked me in pretty good here.
We don't see much of the Heroes of Law.
I mean, it's possible. That's Blood Bowl for you.
Spectators who aren't aware that Heroes of Law hope to show the world a better way by honest, strategic playing
I am
on the
going
pitch.
to try and get somebody up here. I've blitzed, so it's not going to be as useful as maybe I wanted it to be. I really wanted to blitz him, but these two just don't have the agility to really make that happen too well. Okay, I'm gonna... Ooh, if I use my reroll, I don't have it to... Ugh! Darn. Not smart on my... Not smart on my part.
That's what happens when a pro crosses an amateur.
Yes.
Okay.
Scotch.
That opens up so we only have to take one 50% shot instead of two, but we used our reroll to do it. So now, if we do mess up, it's just, we're going down. But we're going to have to take that shot.
The opponent
We made it.
just
Now, do we
around.
make the going for it? We do! And that is touchdown! And there is our lovely cheerleader with her cloven hooves. Beautiful. perhaps taking a look at these. Sometimes will be filled up more than that. He did not recover from his knockout. That requires another role, behind the scenes role. For now, though, this is a good place for me to stop it. We will finish up this game in episode 2.